Such overwhelming evil energy. Xiao Yin muttered under his breath, staring at the lifeless bodies of the Qi family brothers before him. It was clear that both were at the mid and late 7-star Do D stages, and with the added evil power of the extraterritorial evil clan, the pressure on Xiao Yin surged dramatically. Kill! Qi Haoran suddenly raised his head, his bloodshot eyes locking onto Xiao Yin as an overwhelming killing intent burst forth from him. The dense black mist around them, thick like venom, instantly annihilated the molten lava it touched, as if it had never existed. This is bad. Xiao Yin felt a bitter taste in his mouth. Why did he always end up dealing with the extraterritorial evil clan? Earlier, in the desolate mountains, he'd almost perished at the hands of the Blood Demon clan while trying to obtain the sacred flame. Although he'd eventually secured it, the Blood Demon Golden Qi had corroded his body. Without finding a strong enough 2-star Docian to help, that wound wouldn't heal. And now, in this ancient ruin, he was facing yet another crisis. He could almost cry from frustration. How much longer? Xiao Yin asked the life and death fire beast urgently. I underestimated the terror of the thunder tribulation. Give me 3 more minutes, replied the beast, fully aware of Xiao Yan's predicament. Having received such help from Xiao Yin, the life and death fire beast naturally would do everything it could to assist him in return. Kill! As Qi Haoran's shout echoed, the 2 brothers, like specters, shot toward Xiao Yin, dragging the venomous aura of the extraterritorial evil clan with them. No, even my immortal body won't withstand their attacks. Xiao Yin quickly decided to retract his immortal body. After all, it was tied to his next sacred flame. If it got contaminated by the evil forces of the extraterritorial evil clan, he really would be in deep trouble. Fireheart Heavenly Rock, come forth. Without hesitating, Xiao Yin clenched the fiery red sacred flame crystal in his hand. A wave of pure, sacred energy burst forth, and the molten world around him seemed to hum joyfully, as if the lava was welcoming its emperor back. Defend! Xiao Yin, not daring to relax, immediately condensed the sacred flame into a massive, earth-colored flame wall, hoping to block the brothers' impending attack. Boom, boom, boom. Qi Haoran and Qi Haoqing's eyes were bloodshot, their faces emotionless as they launched their assault, hands raised toward Xiao Yin. Gulp! Xiao Yin felt a terrifying surge of evil energy wrapping around him, causing his face to pale. Though the sacred flame could greatly isolate the evil power, Xiao Yin was still too weak. He hadn't yet mastered the flame to its fullest potential. Netherworld Heavenly Wrath. Imperial Seal Mantra. Lotus of Desolation. One by one, Xiao Yin unleashed his most powerful techniques, trying to push back the evil energy. If this continued, he feared he'd be the one to suffer the most damage. Boom, boom, boom. Xiao Yan's attacks collided with the brothers' evil energy, instantly extinguished like fire doused by water, with wisps of white smoke rising. However, these wisps of smoke were the remnants of the evil energy on the brothers. My flames have a strong restraining effect on the extraterritorial evil clan. Xiao Yin rejoiced upon seeing this. After all, he possessed a true sacred flame, so the results weren't too surprising. Kill! Sensing that Xiao Yin wasn't just defending with his immense flames, but also counterattacking, the brothers' blood-red eyes flared with even more intense evil energy. These 2 don't seem to realize the blood curse will eventually take their lives, Xiao Yin thought grimly, realizing the situation had spiraled beyond his control. While the fierce battle raged on in the molten world, the crowd above the swamp grew restless, eager to investigate. Everyone, listen to me. I understand you're anxious about the life and death duel spring, but the Guardians have yet to be dealt with, which means it's not time to enter just yet. However, if you're truly impatient, those of you with strength above late 6-star Do D can head down to investigate. As for the dangers within, that will depend on your own capabilities. Song Yu addressed the impatient crowd. He knew he couldn't hold them back any longer. Although he couldn't stop them from descending, he could at least limit how many went down. Weaker individuals stood no chance of reaching the life and death duel spring, and their presence would only cause trouble. That's why Song Yu came up with this compromise. Late 6-star Do D, huh? That sounds reasonable. The weaker ones will likely die if they go down, so only late 6-star Do D should descend. I suppose that's fair, some of the gathered experts agreed. Go. Upon hearing the command, everyone nodded in agreement and quickly made their way toward the swamp. Among the crowd, those familiar with Xiao Yin included the Five Poisons, Lin Zhu, Xing Long, Little Bai, and Mu Yingying's group, along with Song Yu and Feng Hong's group. Together, they flew toward the swamp, where, beneath the swamp's surface in the world of molten lava, the battle had already reached its peak intensity. I refuse to believe that a mere 5th-rank blood curse can keep me here. Xiao Yin gasped for breath, clearly troubled by the formidable strength of the two enemies in front of him. Shoo! To think a human like you is so resilient. Why not join us? I can guarantee you'll have whatever you desire, Qi Haoran suddenly suggested. However, Xiao Yin felt no joy at the offer, because the Qi brothers had already been completely corrupted by the extraterritorial evil clan's influence, transforming into one of them, no longer human. Extraterritorial evil clan, just a bunch of filthy scum, Xiao Yin remarked with a calm smile. Though he was cautious of the two powerful figures before him, he noticed that his soul-devouring talisman had been vibrating ever since their transformation, as if something in these two was attracting it. Kid, since you're so stubborn, don't blame us for what happens next. We'll make sure you die a death you won't forget. As soon as Qi Haoran finished speaking, a dark and malevolent force surged toward Xiao Yin. Realizing the immense power, far beyond what he could currently handle, Xiao Yin didn't hesitate any longer and prepared to flee. But before he could act, the soul-devouring talisman within him suddenly broke free from his control and appeared in the space between them. Meanwhile, the life and death fire beast, who was fully focused on overcoming its tribulation, paid no attention to Xiao Yin or the two brothers. Soul-devouring talisman? Xiao Yin hesitated when he saw the mysterious talisman appear. It was said to be one of the most powerful treasures in the ghost realm, but he wasn't sure why it had emerged now. Still, an uneasy feeling crept up on him. The dark energy within the soul-devouring talisman seemed even more sinister than what the Qi brothers possessed. Soul-devouring talisman? Qi Haoran and his brother, who had been smirking moments earlier, now stiffened at the sight of the talisman. Their malevolent aura faltered as their eyes locked onto the eerie object in Xiao Yan's hand. That talisman. Its evil was far greater than the darkness they wielded. So, you recognize this thing? Xiao Yin asked when he saw the brothers' shocked reaction to the talisman. Kid, give me that talisman, and whatever you desire will be yours. Qi Haoran, his body still controlled by the dark force, demanded urgently. Give it to you? Xiao Yin grinned, sensing a devious thought bubbling in his mind. The soul-devouring talisman had already bonded with him. Unless Xiao Yin willingly broke the bond or perished, no one else could wield it. So when Qi Haoran made his request, Xiao Yin didn't hesitate. You want it? Xiao Yin smiled, and without delay, hurled the talisman straight at Qi Haoran. Haha, the soul-devouring talisman is finally mine. Qi Haoran's maniacal laughter echoed through the molten world. From now on, I will rule the ghost realm. Every strong being will bow before me. His laugh reverberated through the air as his brother, Qi Haoqing, stood frozen, staring at him in disbelief. Is that Qi Haoran? What is he doing? And what's that thing in his hand? A group of people had now reached the edge of the swamp and the top of the molten world, watching the scene unfold. Don't celebrate too soon, Xiao Yin said calmly. Focused on fighting the evil force of the extraterritorial evil clan, he hadn't noticed the onlookers. As he spoke, a surge of energy from within Xiao Yin shot toward Qi Haoran, aiming directly at the soul-devouring talisman. Suddenly, the talisman in Qi Haoran's hand transformed into a swirling mass of eerie black gas. With a sharp howl, it devoured Qi Haoran whole. His presence vanished completely, not even leaving a trace behind. No, no. Qi Haoran screamed as the talisman consumed him. You can't swallow me. I am your master. But before he could finish, the soul-devouring talisman had erased him from existence. It's your turn. As the soul-devouring talisman consumed Qi Haoran, his immense power, akin to a late-stage 7-star Do-D, was instantly devoured without a trace. Grasping the black talisman, Xiao Yin dashed after Qi Haoqing. However, after devouring Qi Haoran, the talisman released a sliver of dark energy into Xiao Yan's body. This malevolent force was quickly absorbed by the blood demon Golden Qi, which in turn dulled Xiao Yan's senses. Amid this chase within the world of magma, high above, several powerful figures were watching. One of them muttered in disbelief, "Did Xiao Yan really dare to kill someone from the Xinling royal family?" The speaker's face was filled with shock, but the truth was undeniable. When they first entered the magma world, they had clearly witnessed Qi Haoran going berserk. Then Xiao Yan unleashed a dark force, and in an instant, Qi Haoran was obliterated, leaving not even a speck behind. "This is going to be trouble." Xiao Yan, snapping back to reality, noticed the powerful figures hovering in the sky. He sneered inwardly. "Xiao Yan, you've really done it this time. Killing a disciple of the Xinling royal family. There's no way you can explain your way out of this." A familiar voice emerged from the crowd. It was Su Guang. Badly injured from a previous encounter, Su Guang had been lurking among the onlookers. Now, seeing Xiao Yan's actions, he stepped forward. Xiao Yan had killed his follower, and although the matter could be swept under the rug, Qi Haoran's death was a different story. Who was Qi Haoran? He was one of the most gifted and powerful disciples in the Xinling royal family. With him dead, the Xinling family would never let this go easily. Boom, boom, boom. Xiao Yan, just wait for the Xinling royal family's punishment, Su Guang declared before swiftly departing from the magma world. With his current strength, there was no way he could benefit from the ruins. His only option now was to report the news to the Xinling royal family and let them deal with Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan really killed Qi Haoran? Xiao Qi was astonished. Qi Haoran was a legitimate mid-stage 7-star Do-D. Even Xiao Qi himself didn't have a guaranteed victory over him, yet Xiao Yan had slain him with such ease. The Xinling royal family will never let this slide. "This is serious," murmured Qin Xian, recognizing the gravity of the situation. Her voice was low, but the significance was clear. The Burning Incense Pavilion and the Xinling royal family had always been bitter enemies. Now, with Xiao Yan stirring up such trouble, things were bound to escalate. "Ah, it seems this is a tribulation Xiao Yan was destined to face," sighed Song Yu. He had a decent impression of Xiao Yan, especially after receiving medicinal help from him to ease his lover's illness. "It looks like the Burning Incense Pavilion has found itself in a huge mess," added Five Poisons, speaking calmly. As a senior disciple of a major sect, he was well aware of what the death of a prodigy like Qi Haoran could mean for a sect. Enough. Xiao Yan, seeing the situation, didn't hesitate. He swiftly put away the soul-devouring talisman, adjusted his breath, and flew toward Mu Yingying and her group. As Xiao Yan ascended to the top of the magma world, the crowd instinctively took a step back. "Are you all right?" Mu Yingying asked, unconcerned with the broader conflict, her only focus on Xiao Yan's safety. "I'm fine," Xiao Yan replied softly. "Good. We'll deal with the rest later," Xiao Qi said, cutting off any further discussion. He seemed to sense that Xiao Yan had more to say. "Everyone, our purpose here was to enter the life and death dual spring. As for the other matters..." Xiao Qi let out a cold snort, and killing intent rippled through the air. Seeing this, the other strong cultivators retreated cautiously. Xiao Yan knew that unless every one of them stayed behind, the events that had just unfolded couldn't be kept secret. These were elite disciples of their respective sections. Word would spread. "Forget it. I'll take things one step at a time," Xiao Yan muttered, shaking his head slightly. There was little he could do about the troublesome soul-devouring talisman. Just as the tension surrounding Qi Haoran's death began to settle, a massive figure in the magma world suddenly stirred violently. "The Guardian has succeeded in its tribulation." Song Yu's face darkened as he spoke. "The Guardian has succeeded." As Song Yu's words trailed off, a gigantic creature slowly emerged from the magma. It was the life and death fire beast. But this time, the beast's body had undergone a dramatic transformation. Having successfully passed its tribulation, The beast now bore patches of a rare, earthy yellow flame on its body. The flame distinctly carried traces of the sacred flame. Roar, roar, roar. As soon as the life and death fire beast appeared, it let out an earth-shattering roar, striking fear into the hearts of the many powerful cultivators present. In the next moment, they all felt an overwhelming, oppressive force. With a casual glance at Xiao Yin, the life and death fire beast seemed to understand that Xiao Yin and his companions were off-limits. However, it turned its fierce gaze upon the others. After all, Xiao Yin had already made it clear that his companions were under his protection, but as for the others, he didn't care what happened to them. An 8-star Do D-level magical beast, Song Yu frowned upon seeing this. The Guardian's strength had become too terrifying. No matter how many of them teamed up, it would be useless. Leave now, or die. The life and death fire beast warned, spitting out a fiery breath that enveloped Xiao Yan's group, and without hesitation, that breath forcefully sent them toward the magma world below. Damn it! Someone cursed, their eyes turning red with rage. By now, even the slowest person could tell that the Guardian's breakthrough had something to do with Xiao Yan. It was obvious that the Guardian was now repaying Xiao Yan's favor by sending him and his companions to the life and death dual spring. Attack together. We can't let Xiao Yan succeed. The many experts, unwilling to give up, steeled their hearts and shouted to one another. With a chorus of roars, they launched their combined attack. A blinding beam of light, 100 meters long, formed from their life energy and shot toward the life and death fire beast. Humph! The life and death fire beast snorted. Though it had just broken through and its strength was still stabilizing, it was now a fully fledged 8-star Do D. If it couldn't even handle this rabble, it would be laughable. With a roar, the magma below churned violently, quickly forming a colossal, ferocious beast. The beast breathed fire from its mouth as it charged without hesitation toward the life energy light beam. Retreat quickly. Song Yu had been hesitant to leave because of the immense temptation of the life and death dual spring. But when the fire beast started its attack, he knew they stood no chance. If we can't reach the life and death dual spring, run. Song Yu shouted, grabbing Hong Qian's delicate hand and making a swift retreat. We're no match for it. 5 poisons grimaced, then swiftly withdrew with Lin Zhu. Seeing this, the others, Feng Hong, Du Chun, and the Xinglong crowd, exchanged glances and followed suit, backing away quickly. Curse our luck. The remaining experts, watching the most powerful figures retreat and noticing the light beam from their life energy about to collapse under the fire beast's attack, dared not stay any longer. They, too, fled. Cowards, the life and death fire beast muttered as it watched them retreat, its tone filled with disdain. Once calm returned, the fire beast settled down. It had just broken through to the 8-star Do D level and needed to rest. Meanwhile, Xiao Yin and his group had already ventured toward the life and death dual spring. Whether they succeeded now would depend on their fortune. Xiao Yin, just now, as they headed toward the life and death dual spring, Xiao couldn't help but speak up. Xiao Yan's killing of Qi Haoran had been witnessed clearly by everyone present. Sigh. Xiao Yan shook his head slightly, knowing the gravity of the situation. If he had merely killed some insignificant figures, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But killing someone as important as Qi Haoran, a key disciple of the Xinling royal family, would undoubtedly provoke their wrath. Given the strained relations between the Xinling royal family and the Fragrant Sky Pavilion, the royal family might use this as an excuse to stir up trouble. No matter how extraordinary his talent was, the Fragrant Sky Pavilion might not be able to protect him. I believe in you. As the group pondered in silence, Yuru and Mu Yingying both gave Xiao Yan reassuring looks. What happened just now is exactly as you saw. Qi Haoran did intend to kill me, but it seems the Xinling royal family is connected to the extraterritorial evil clan. That's why the attack was an accident. Something I used to combat the evil clan slipped out of my control and killed him. Otherwise, with my current strength, killing someone like Qi Haoran instantly would have been quite difficult, Xiao Yan explained. The Xinling royal family, involved with the extraterritorial evil clan? Xiao Qi's brow furrowed upon hearing this. She knew all too well how feared the evil clan was throughout the Great Thousand Worlds. Many places in the Great Thousand Worlds had suffered from the evil clan's corruption, so no matter who you were, you would harbor a deep-seated hatred for them. Any force found secretly colluding with the extraterritorial evil clan would instantly be seen as an enemy of the Great Thousand Worlds and face certain destruction. They got away before I could interrogate them properly. Qi Haoran managed to escape, Xiao Yin said, regret clear in his voice. It seems this situation is more serious than we thought. We need to be cautious, Xiao Qi said in a grave tone. As soon as this is over, we must report back to our respective sections. This is beyond what we can handle alone, he added, his voice low but resolute. Extraterritorial evil clan. Qi Haoran's eyes flickered with a flash of hatred at the mention of the name. Every time she heard those words, an unsettling discomfort gripped her. Once this ruins expedition is finished, the balance of power in Mystic Three Heavens will likely shift, Long Fuyao remarked, as if privy to some hidden knowledge. We'll take it step by step. If the Xinling royal family really tries to side with Qi Haoran against me, Xiao Yin, I swear, even if it costs my life, I'll make sure they pay dearly. Xiao Yan's tone was casual, but the steely determination in his voice was unmistakable. Don't worry. We've got your back, Mu Feng said, placing a reassuring hand on Xiao Yan's shoulder. Mu Yingying and Qi Haoran exchanged smiles, standing by his side in solidarity. Let's move. The entrance to the life and death dual spring is just ahead, Xiao Yan said, feeling a warmth in his heart from the support of his companions. He slowly descended toward the entrance below. Is that it? Long Fuyao's powerful soul force immediately detected a glow emerging from the molten lava, his voice steady. A radiant gateway appeared within the molten world, its light shimmering with an unusual glow. Through the portal, they could faintly sense something mysterious beyond. That's the place, Xiao Yin confirmed, nodding in response. Based on what the life and death fire beast had told him, and his own intuition, this had to be the entrance. Shall we go in and take a look? Mu Feng asked, staring at the gateway with a mix of anticipation and hesitation. Though there are many hidden treasures in the life and death dual spring, it's also extremely dangerous. Be careful once we're inside, Xiao Yin cautioned. Got it, everyone responded, then swiftly darted through the glowing portal. As Xiao Yin and his group entered, subtle changes began to stir within the life and death dual spring. Heh, someone's arrived, said a young man seated beside a stone table deep within the life and death dual spring. Malice, old monster. Don't tell me you're thinking about snatching young girls again this time? The speaker was a silver-white rat perched atop the stone table, its claws sharp and menacing, exuding a terrifying aura despite its small size. The young man, dressed elegantly like a scholar, rolled his eyes at the rat's remark. Silver, how could you accuse me of such a thing? Am I that type of person? The man, known as Malice, old monster, replied, clearly irritated. Malice, old monster, life and death, youth and aging. These are all part of the natural order. If you keep meddling, you're bound to face divine retribution. And when that happens, even we won't be able to help you, the rat said arrogantly. Besides, most of the other magical beasts have already been summoned by that guy from Guanghan Island. If you cause any trouble now, I doubt he'll let you off easily, the rat added smugly. Fine. Since someone's come, let's go greet them. It's been a long time since we've had human visitors in the life and death dual spring, Malice, old monster said with a sly smile. Hemph, the so-called life and death dual spring is nothing but a stagnant pool of water. It's been useless for years. Silver scoffed, crawling onto Malice, old monster's shoulder. The two figures slowly vanished, but before disappearing, Malice, old monster muttered, the spring is just damaged. If it were whole, do you really think it would be this desolate? With one last glance, he disappeared completely. We made it. Xiao Yin and his group emerged into another space beyond the molten world, stepping through the portal. This place is strange, Mu Feng remarked, eyes wide with wonder. Ruins are always unique, but this life and death dual spring, creating a separate space within an existing one. This is the work of a Docian. This place feels so barren, Mu Yingying said, her voice echoing in the desolate space. Before them stood a circular, concentric ring island. They were standing on what appeared to be a cross-section of it, overlooking a massive basin below. In the basin, there were only two ring-shaped islands, the larger encircling the smaller, with a stone table standing at the very center of the inner ring. Streams of peculiar water flowed between the islands, though Xiao Yin sensed nothing extraordinary from them. Is this really the life and death dual spring? Did we take a wrong turn? Mu Feng asked, scanning the area with his senses. The place was so lifeless it didn't resemble the mystical spring they had anticipated. Let's go check it out, Xiao Yin said, making up his mind. Be on guard. Amidst the tense atmosphere, Yuru suddenly became alert and spoke up. This place is actually someone's dwelling. Mu Feng responded with a mocking tone. Someone lives in this godforsaken place? His disbelief was understandable. Aside from the two concentric ring-shaped islets, there was nothing else around, making it hard to imagine anyone residing here. I think the spring in the middle of these islands is the legendary life and death dual spring. But why do I feel nothing special from it? Mu Feng commented as he drew closer to the water, his voice filled with doubt. Lung Fuyao added, these waters seem too ordinary to possibly enhance the life force within our bodies. Could we have been deceived by the life and death fire beast? Xiao Yin wondered aloud, his tone filled with uncertainty. Before anyone could further speculate, a deep, steady voice suddenly interrupted. There's no need to keep guessing. This is indeed the real life and death dual spring. As for why the water appears this way, perhaps a few of you can enlighten me. The voice's calmness was unnerving. Everyone's gaze snapped to the source of the voice, revealing a handsome young man, impeccably dressed and seemingly out of place in such a desolate area. Who is this guy? The group tensed up instantly. The fact that he could appear without a sound indicated his strength. Xiao Yin was certain that the life and death fire beast had driven away all the outsiders earlier, leaving only one other possible person here, Malice Old Monster. But wasn't Hatred Old Monster supposed to be ancient? How could this Malice Old Monster appear so young? You're Malice Old Monster, aren't you? Yuru's forehead glowed faintly with the light from the inheritance rune, as if revealing some hidden knowledge. Ah, the inheritance rune of Jiao Yu Fairy. Quite a fortunate one, aren't you? The young man's eyes gleamed with recognition. Having that rune doesn't guarantee you'll obtain Jiao Yu Fairy's legacy, but it does give you a chance. Back in the day, I nearly lost my life trying to acquire it, though I ultimately failed. As Yuru and Malice Old Monster exchanged words, Xiao Yin and the others could feel an overwhelming sense of pressure emanating from the man, a dreadful aura that seemed to seep into their very bones. You've come for the life and death dual spring, haven't you? Malice Old Monster turned his gaze toward the still, colorless spring at the center of the islands. Yes, that's right. Xiao Qi stepped forward, her tone respectful yet firm. She knew well enough that his strength demanded caution. Well, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. Malice Old Monster's lips curled into a sinister smile. The life and death dual spring is not for sharing. In fact, you all will soon become the nourishing essence that keeps me forever young. A burst of maniacal laughter erupted from him, echoing throughout the life and death dual spring. This guy. His power is terrifying, Xiao Yin muttered, struggling against the oppressive force radiating from Malice Old Monster. He's at the level of perfect 8-star Do D. Even the life and death fire beast underestimated him. Gazing at the group of women with a wicked glint in his eye, Malice Old Monster sneered, such lovely beauties. You will certainly keep my youthfulness intact. His laughter filled the air again, while Mu Yingying and the others exchanged worried glances, feeling the threat in his leering gaze. In reality, Malice Old Monster had lived for millennia, but his prolonged lifespan came at a cost. His strength could no longer advance, and his appearance had begun to wither with time. Through some dark method, he had learned to temporarily maintain his youth by absorbing the essence of young women. Although he knew the practice was unnatural and risked divine retribution, he saw no other alternative. Thus, He had become a notorious monster, preying on women to sustain his appearance. Shameless! Mu Yingying's voice cut through the air, filled with disgust as she noticed Malice Old Monster's lecherous gaze upon them. At that moment, a small silver rat suddenly emerged from Malice Old Monster's robes, its expression one of disdain. You know nothing. If I don't absorb the essence of these women, I'll age rapidly. The mere thought of growing old again makes me want to die. The young face of Malice Old Monster twisted with a hint of pain. So, he maintains his youth by stealing the life force of women, Xiao murmured, finally understanding the source of his unnaturally youthful appearance. What do we do now?
Attack.
Xiao Yin, seeing that things were beyond resolution, let out a cold snort. Make your move. Don't say I didn't give you a chance. Malice Old Monster, brimming with confidence, spoke as if victory was already in his grasp. Even Xiao, with his early 7-star Do-D strength, couldn't shake him in the slightest. It seems this guy. A silver rat sighed softly, glancing at Malice Old Monster. But then, as its gaze landed on Xiao Yin, it spoke again. There's something in him. It feels similar to that one from Guanghan Island. An illusion? The silver rat murmured, before disappearing back into Malice Old Monster's clothing. The silver rat was aware of the mystery surrounding Yuru and her inheritance rune. However, it also knew that given her possession of the rune, it was unlikely Malice Old Monster could actually kill them within this ancient ruin. Buy me some time, Yuru said through clenched teeth to Xiao Yin and the others, before closing her eyes. A tremendous surge of energy began radiating faintly from the inheritance rune on her forehead. Is she activating her inheritance rune? Qi Haoran, knowledgeable as always, instantly recognized what Yuru was doing. The ruins were the resting place of the Jiao Yu fairy's legacy, and Yuru, carrying her inheritance rune, was likely calling upon its power. Only by doing so could they hope to deal with the formidable Malice Old Monster, a warrior at the perfect 8-star Do-D level. Without it, their chances of survival were slim. Everyone, by her time. Mu Yingying, Long Fuyao, protect Yuru. The rest charge. Xiao Yin swiftly issued orders. Without further hesitation, he unleashed the full power of the sacred flame within him, the earth-hued fire flaring into the air. They were facing a perfect 8-star Do-D opponent, and Xiao Yin knew that if he held back any longer, this would be the place he met his end. Well, so this kid wields sacred flame, huh? In that case, I'll gladly take it for myself. As Malice Old Monster spoke, a greedy gleam appeared on his face. Grand heavenly creation palm. With a swift motion, Xiao Yin gathered the blazing power of sacred flame into his palm and struck toward Malice Old Monster. The fearsome wave of flames transformed into a deadly projectile aimed directly at his foe.
Attack.
Without delay, Xiao launched his own radiant barrage at Malice Old Monster. This attack clearly far stronger than his previous one in his battle with Su Guang. Yinyang 8 trigrams. Slay him. Mu Feng also unleashed his formidable strength. Go! Qi Haoran didn't dare hold back either. A motley crew, that's all you are. Malice Old Monster remained unfazed by the four-pronged attack. His voice dripped with disdain. The gap between true powerhouses can't be bridged by mere numbers, he added with a chilling calmness. Disperse. Just as the combined assault was about to reach him, Malice Old Monster flashed a sinister smile and spoke softly. Instantly, a radiant white force surged around him, though tinged faintly with an eerie black aura. Damn it! Xiao Yin cursed inwardly. This guy's power. It's not just at the perfect 8-star Do-D level. He's developed the force of death. Life force and death force were two vastly different powers. The gap between someone possessing life force and one without it wasn't large. But to manifest death force, one had to first master life force. Typically, death force only emerged when a perfect 8-star Do-D was on the brink of breaking through to the 9-star Do-D stage. With death force at his command, Malice Old Monster now had the ability to instantly kill, making him truly terrifying. It was no wonder Xiao Yin and his group were so shaken. Haha, it's over for you all. Don't worry, After your deaths, I'll give you a proper burial. Malice, old monster, sneered as he dissolved their attacks into nothingness. His life and death force, still at full strength, surged toward Xiao Yan's group. As the deadly energy closed in, the team could feel the suffocating aura of impending death. Is this the end? Mu Feng muttered in bitter resignation. However, none of them stood idly by. Xiao Yin, Xiao Qi, Qin Xian, and Mu Yingying each began gathering their strength for a final stand. Meanwhile, the inheritance rune on Yuru's forehead pulsed with a mysterious power, crashing headlong into the approaching life and death force. Malice, old monster, did you think you could touch the one I've chosen as my successor?